up? Welcome back. I am so excited to do today's video. I had a lot of fun researching and preparing for months leading up to this till I finally decided what curriculum I was going to be using for my boys for kindergarten this year. I'm all set up and ready here. I got my ice water. I got my notebook that's full of notes. I so appreciate all the subscribers. They have really gone up. Thank you guys very much, and I just feel like honored that you guys want to follow along on my journey and see what's going on in my life. If you guys don't know, if you just came across this video because you're interested in homeschool stuff, I am from the States, but I live here in Cambodia. My husband and I and our 3 boys, we lived here for almost 5 years now, and I am 20 weeks pregnant with baby number 4. Our oldest, our twins, they're boys, they're going to be going into kindergarten this year. They are 5 and will be turning 6 in February. Our family was recently in the States, and I picked up a bunch of curriculum books to use with the boys for kindergarten this year, and so that's what I'm going to show you guys. When I was researching curriculum, what curriculum to use for the boys, I had so much fun. I totally geeked out, and I did so much research into it, and I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. My twins have very different learning styles. One of them is very much of a hands-on learner, and he needs a lot of action and a lot of things to do with his hands. And he also needs a lot of repetition in order to remember stuff. My other son can sit and concentrate for long periods of time. He can look at his book, use a pencil and write. He can learn something, and for the most part, he remembers it. So it makes it a little bit of a challenge to teach them, but I look at it as a fun challenge. And I struggled a little bit in school. I have more of a left brain learning style. I'm more of a hands-on learner myself. So my son, who is also a hands-on learner, I want him to enjoy school and like school, and so I view that as a fun challenge. That's the biggest thing for me, is I want my boys, both of them, to enjoy learning and have it be a lifelong thing. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and dive right in. So kind of as self-motivation for my boys, my friend made these little labels for me, and she laminated them, and it's a picture, a thumbnail kind of each subject, and also some of their activity books, and I got 2 of each because twins. And then I'm just going to put a little Velcro sticker on the back of each one, and I'm going to make a poster, and I haven't got that done yet. I wish I would have for this video. So for example, on the poster, they'll have Zeke and Zaydoks, each twin, and then a finished and unfinished side. And so, for example, for their math, they could get this one and move it from the unfinished side to the finished side. And then at a glance, they can easily see what they need to do yet that day. And hopefully it'll be motivating for them. And they're not going to have to do everything every day, so maybe for that day, at the beginning, I'll put up the couple things that they need to do and then change it out like that. Okay, first up is Bible. And what I'm planning to do for Bible is I don't have a set curriculum. I've got a couple different books that we're going to just use, pick different stories to read out of, maybe color picture to go with it, sing some songs, and pray together. So this one we picked up, we were in the States at Christian Light Publication, and it is just stories of Jesus, and it's got big, bright, colorful pictures, and they're just short stories, usually just 1 page or 2 pages, I guess. Next I have the Jesus Storybook Bible, and every story whispers his name. And I really like this one because even in the Old Testament, the stories whisper Jesus' name. And it's got great pictures, great illustrations. The stories are 2 to 3 pages long, and I love the little people. I think the people have great faces, the way they illustrated them. The next one I got while we were back in the States is God's Very Good Idea. And it is really great for third culture kids. It talks a lot about how God made all different kinds of people and colors and languages and cultures, and that's a good thing. This one is not so much of a devotional, it's more of a one big story, but we'll read it probably several different times. Okay, next on my stack is Handwriting Without Tears. Probably you guys have heard of this one, I don't know. They have a whole set that you can get to go with it if you want. You can do more research on it to find out about that. But for the kindergarten, it's just really sweet and basic and simple. You just practice writing your letters. Back it gets harder, it's more like words. Yeah, they just do 1 or 2 pages a day, really simple. And then to go along with this, I have a chalkboard back here and some chalk. So for kindergarten, I am saying that math and reading are the most important, and then handwriting, and then after that is everything else. So as long as we get those things done or progress in those areas, I'm happy with that. So this year for math, I went with The Good and the Beautiful. Like, we are just loving this math so far. I love it, the boys love it, they beg to do it. It's great. So it's a very hands-on math book, and it's bright, it's colorful. At the beginning of each section, they have a story, and this one at the first is about bees, and then they send along a math kit, which I'll show you here in a minute, and it's got little bee manipulatives in it, and so you get those out, and you have to, like, the kindergartner has to, like, do different things with the bees. I am planning to do a review of this after I've used it for 2 months, so you guys can look forward to that. And here is the math kit. It comes with a box. Inside, they just have all kinds of manipulatives. This is a counter. So these are the little bee manipulatives. This is pattern pieces, and then to go along with the pattern pieces, you have all these different things that you build with the patterns. Here's some garden manipulatives, and then they got like little garden that you plant. This here is blocks, and there's also 2 dice in there that they have you use for a bunch of different things. There's a little calendar book that each day they mark off the day of the week, and they learn about how to write the date and different stuff like that, how many months are in a year. They have a song for the months of the year and a song for days of the week. This here is a place value chart where you open it up, and then they have these papers with 10 little blocks you stick in for the ones place value, the tens, and the hundreds place value to help them to understand that. So in this kit, they also have shape flashcards, number flashcards, and like dots with the numbers on it. And then the last thing in the kit I want to show you guys today was their handwriting practice card, and it's just a laminated card that comes in your kit, and they can write with a dry erase marker and erase it to practice writing their numbers on the front and the back. And then this also is for phone numbers, which we haven't gotten to that yet. So I really like that it comes with this kit of hands-on things to do with them. The Good and the Beautiful K Math is fun and easy, and honestly my boys enjoy it and they ask to do math. So I kind of have 2 different things for reading. First up, I've got Christian Light Publication, they're learning to read, and 2 of them because twins. This is the student one, and they're like light units. They're just little books. I think there's maybe like 10 of them or so in the set. And then this is the teacher manual, and it's got a nice spiral on it. And one thing I really like about this is they have exactly what you're supposed to say to the student in bold print, and they also have the answer key for each page right there mixed in with your daily lesson. They have stories mixed in, and they really focus good on teaching, like, for the first light unit, they learn, I think it's 5 sounds, 4 consonants and 1 vowel. And then till the end of the first little book, they have you sounding out a word. And then the next book, I think they add on 4 or 5 new letters and review also the ones that you already learned. You practice handwriting them, you practice sounding them out. They have all different like activities to go with it. It's really simple, easy, appropriate for kindergarten, but also is making sure they're getting the sounds of the letters. So we're doing this first because they're supposed to know the sounds of the letters before they start All About Reading. And so next up, I'll talk about All About Reading. That candle from my mother-in-law is making it smell really good in here. So this is All About Reading. This is the teacher manual. So this one here is the student manual, and then it also comes with 3 little readers. They're so cute and they're so appropriate, and they now come in color, which is awesome. And I'm so excited to do this, but before you start All About Reading, the child is supposed to know all the sounds of the letters because the first lesson they do start blending right away. So we'll probably wait to start this till a little bit later in the school year. I'm not sure quite when yet. It'll just depend on the progress of my boys. It comes with tons of flashcards. The yellow ones are like the letters, and then the green ones are more sounding words, and there's also sight words. And it comes with tiles. Here's the letter tiles. And so the idea is that you're supposed to put these in alphabetical order at the top of the magnetic whiteboard so they can like start memorizing where the different letters are in the alphabet. And then as they build their different words, they can pull down the different letters that they need to build the words. And then in that way, it's more interactive. They're not just sitting in their seat doing schoolwork. They're getting up, moving around, using their hands, moving their fingers, learning how to do stuff. And then they also have games and stuff you play with the flashcards. And for example, one of the games, you can put the different flashcards on your steps, and the child has to like go up and down the steps as he does them. Yeah, like I said, I haven't started this yet, so I've just been looking at it. I'm excited to start. I think it's going to be really good. And then also to go with reading, I have a couple printables that I just printed out. This one here is like to use with dot markers, and my boys love dot markers. I don't know. They loved them in preschool, and I'm sure they'll love them again in kindergarten. And so I have a bunch of different colors. I got a new pack while we were back in the States. For example, this is for L for lion, and you just have to find all the L's. And dot them. They have capital and lowercase. And then I also have little stories where again, they have to find all the A's, their capital and lowercase in the story and put a dot on them. This is a free printable from Confessions of a Homeschooler, so you guys can find that there. This one is a free printable from Teaching Where You're Called. I also have mazes for each letter of the alphabet, like this is G for goat. And then they practice writing down at the bottom. And this is a free printable from Tot Schooling. And then if you guys watched my preschool homeschool video, I got in my preschool stuff from the Measured Mom. And I have a bunch of that stuff left in here yet. We didn't use all of it. And so I'll just mix it in. Just trying to give you guys some resources. Okay, and this here is for kind of for phonetics. This is another free printable. This is from the Measured Mom. For example, like for letter H, this is a hammer. So the boys have to look at it. You take all these off and then they have to look at it. Hammer. So that's letter H. Then they got to stick it on letter H. And I've got one for each letter of the alphabet. Okay, then also under phonetics, I have Explode the Code, which this has also been around for a little bit. You guys may have heard of it. I have A, B, and C, and I have 1 and 1.5. I don't know if we'll get to these this year or not, but I thought I'd go ahead and get them. So what it is like, here's letter K, and they have to color it. Over here, they just practice writing. So like here's letter R, and they're only supposed to color the parts of the rocket that have letter R. Here, they're supposed to color the picture that begins with letter R. And then this is book 1. For example, here's hill, and then they have to like circle the letter in each box. Here they have to like look at the picture and circle the correct word. So that's obviously a little bit harder. That's getting into reading more. I've heard of other homeschooling moms whose kids are a little bit older than mine and they have really loved Explode the Code. Explode the Code is something you can kind of give your kid and say, here, do this page while I get the next thing ready. So this is from Christian Light Publication also. And these are little light units and I have the set of them for kindergarten 2. And it's just really simple work. So here's letter O and you practice writing it. This little boy, you have to help him climb the mountain by reading the sounds of these different letters. Okay, I don't know if you guys have heard of Temperdoodle before or not. Temperdoodle is like a curriculum website. We can go and order stuff. They homeschooled their kids and they also do foster care and have a lot of kids come through and they kind of have picked what they feel is the best curriculums and put it together in different kits for each grade. And their focus is kind of more hands-on type curricula. I did not buy their kit. I did use a lot of their recommendations and I did get a lot of stuff from them. That's what I'm getting ready to show you. They recommended the All About Reading, which is the one that I already showed you guys. So if you order through them, you get their little handbook. And this is their 2019 kindergarten one. And one thing I really like about them is that they come with like a schedule or planner in here. Let me show you. So here is like your annual planner. And then they also have a weekly checklist. So roughly what you need to get done for each day. So for example, All About Reading, they say to do 20 minutes a day and then you can check it off for each day that you did it. And they also have like a reading challenge in here that you can do with your kids. For example, you can go to the library and pick out a book that's like written by a Christian, a biography, a book that has more than 100 pages in it, a mystery book, a book that was published in 2018, 2019, all different ones. They have different levels, like a light one and a harder one. So I'm hoping to do this with my boys and after they get each like challenge done, then I'll get a reward for them. And in the back of this, they have 36 ways to play with Mad Matter. While I don't have Mad Matter, I do have Play-Doh, and I thought it'd be something fun to do like each week, one time a week, have a challenge where they have to build something. 10 reasons to stop schoolwork and go build something. It's really good for kids to build stuff. It's good for their problem solving. It's good for their hand-eye coordination. It's good for their brain development. In case you can't tell, I'm very much of a fan of hands-on learning and interactive learning. So these next couple of things I'm going to show you are from Temperdoodle, what they recommended. Exploring the Building Blocks of Science, the kindergarten activity book, and it's very simple, straightforward little activities and illustrations that they have you do. Sometimes it's coloring the picture, sometimes it's you have to go outside and try something. And this is not necessarily something we're going to do every day, but I thought it would be really fun. My boys have a lot of questions about science, like why does stuff do this, why does it do that, and they really enjoy that aspect of it. And so this is just a really sweet little introduction to science, very appropriate for kindergarten. It's a Ready Set Bodies. I got this one on sale because it was just slightly ripped. And you do different projects like build a pair of lungs, build a skeleton, do a teeth brushing one. I don't know if I would have got it if it wouldn't have been on sale, but I thought it'd be fun to do with my boys. Okay, this one here is geography. And again, my boys are very interested in geography, probably because they're third culture kids. They've done a lot of traveling. They understand there's different countries. They have a lot of questions about, well, where's this country, or what flag belongs to that country, or you know, about mountains and land and air and the weather and the climates, because they know the climate in the States is different than the climate of where we live. maybe not climate, seasons. They know the seasons in the States are different than the seasons where we live, so a lot of questions about that kind of stuff. And my boys are back from being away. And this book also covers a little bit about maps, so that'll be fun to introduce them to maps. So my boys were swimming and they just got back. So Zeke decided to come and join me. Zeke, can you say hi?
Hi.
Alright, so next up is geography. It's Skill Sharpener's Geography. It talks about hills, volcanoes, mountains, and about some of the different animals that live in different parts of the world. This is also recommended by Temperdoodle. 6 geo puzzles of kind of the different continents. This one is the whole world, and each puzzle piece is shaped like the country. So that makes it fun for learning. You can use it for quizzing and stuff that way too. And all the different countries, and even they have Cambodia, yay! The pieces of the puzzles are really thick, sturdy cardboard, so they're gonna last for a while. So next up is history, and this is just a really cute little kid's history book. It's called Speed's History of Me, and it has this little character that looks like a ball of yarn, and as you unravel it, it's like time is unraveling, and it discusses a little bit about their family tree. They have a craft where you build a family tree. You only do it like once a week. For a year, and they have like the history of Christmas, the history of Easter, the history of like dresses, and the history of weapons and different things like that. And so, for example, the week that you were studying dresses, you could go to the library and pull out more books on that subject, or if your kids are interested in the subject, you can delve into it deeper. You watch YouTube videos how to do it. So yeah, it's a colorful little book with stories and crafts for them to do, and I think they're going to enjoy it. Next up is a book about emotions, and this is Happy, Sad, Feeling, Glad, and it's a draw. You draw a lot of things in it. For example, here the donkey is sad because he dropped his ice cream, and so you're supposed to draw a new ice cream. Here he's cranky because he's hungry. You're supposed to draw some food in the bowl to help him not be cranky anymore. So yeah, it's kind of a drawing book, but it also is talking about emotions, and obviously you can talk about it more with your student if you wanted. This is a maze book, and my boys love mazes, and again, it's getting that holding a pencil, that like handwriting practice without actually writing letters. It's got big colorful mazes from all around the world, and this would kind of go with geography also. My boys would do this whole book in a day probably if I left them, but we'll probably just do 1 or 2 a week and spread it out. This is from Kuben. It's just a really simple book. They just have to figure out what's different in the different pictures. In this book, it has activities such as matching shapes and objects, identifying same and different, and to help improve your child's thinking skills. So my boys have already done some in this book, or actually quite a bit, and they really like it. This is the pre-K, so we're gonna have to go ahead and get the K next when we're done with this one. This was a book that Temperdoodle had on sale, and so I just grabbed it. It's never bored, and it's just an activity book. My boys, because there's 2 of them, they go through books like this pretty fast. So next up, it's Developing the Early Learner. It's a set of 4, and it also comes with the Parent's Guide. This is done by Temperdoodle. It has more instructions and the answer key also in here. Foundation skills for successful reading. We already started these and the boys really enjoy them so far. They're very simple black and white pages. It's pre-reading. It's like, for example, what does the match go with? What does the pile of leaves go with? What does the chair go with? What's the fork go with? Over here, they just have to trace on top of the dotted line. They have to listen to a sound that you make, and then they have to color the happy or sad face if the 2 sounds you make are the same or not. Some of the pages, they have like a series of directions that you have to give the kid, like underline the umbrella on the 1st row, put a hat on top of the little girl in the 2nd row. Pages like this, you gotta find and color the right things. Sorry, the sun is really changing, and so my lighting in here is really changing. One thing that Temperdoodle is really good in is their critical thinking, and so they have a lot of critical thinking activities, which I think is really good for brain development, especially at this age. So from Temperdoodle, I got 3 different games that have to do with developing critical thinking, and my boys also love games. So first is Little Red Riding Hood, and it comes with a book of challenges where they have to set up the tray, right, like the picture on the book, and then they have to figure out the path for the wolf and for Little Red Riding Hood to get to the house. And it's a 1-player game, so they can do it by themselves. And the book, it goes from like easy to hard. Little pieces you can see with a book here, and you have to try to balance the pieces to build a tower like the one in the picture. And again, it starts out with easy challenges and then continues up harder and harder. And last, I have art and kind of fun stuff. A fingerprint draw animals and insects. And this one here is Do a Dot creative activity book, where you use these dot markers and you have to color the pictures. And my boys love dot markers, and it's something even my 1.5-year-old can kind of help with if he thinks he needs to be in the schoolroom too. This I just picked up at a yard sale. It's a weaving kit, you know, where you can make hot pads and stuff, and the boys have already gotten into this and they really enjoy it. It's a handicraft, which I love for them to be able to learn. My lighting shining in the windows in here keeps changing. It's called This Is How We Do It. It's one day in the lives of 7 kids from around the world, and it just shows pictures of like what they ate that day or them going to school that day. So this is great to go with our geography. This is from Masterbooks. It's Children's Atlas of God's World, and it just shows like a country. This is Russia. It'll have a picture of like the child and what they wear in that country. And it usually has maps that go with it. This is Africa. They have, yeah, all different countries and facts about it, some of the animals, stuff like that. I think my boys will find this interesting to look at when we study different countries. These go along with just some activity books. These are from Osborne. As you can see, we've already opened these and used these. They are white clean. This one's a big white clean activity book, and this one is a math book. And I also picked up a couple books, like storybooks, while we were in the States and at yard sales and places like that. So as you guys can tell, I got lots of fun resources and books when we were in the States, and I'm excited to use them this year. So this might seem like a lot of stuff to some of you guys. It might not seem like much to other of you guys, but I'm pretty excited about it. There is a girl coming from the States that's gonna be helping to teach the boys, especially because I'll be having a baby this school year, and that way not everything falls apart. And if you have any questions about anything that I covered, leave them down below and I will try to answer them. Thanks for watching. See you guys next week.